Hello, everyone. I'm Ken O'Neill, and this is Commissioner's Corner. And today we are speaking with the Commissioner Justin Sellers of the Coastal Plain League. And Justin, thanks for being on the program.
Thank you, Ken. Been looking forward to this and very excited about it. Thank you.
Now, according to what I read, your league started basically as a Class D minor league team in 1937 to 1952. Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Cal Ripken Sr. played there. Where did it go from there, and how did it get up to today?
Well, actually, our league got started in '97 as a summer collegiate model that was shared the same name as a tip of the hat to the old Class D minor leagues that played in the 40s and 50s. Between the gaps, it pretty much just went defunct, and the name was still out there. The idea of bringing a college summer league to the Carolinas at the time, and it was 6 teams in Eastern North Carolina, started with my predecessor, Pete Bach, whose son was playing in the Valley Summer Collegiate League and was looking for, a shorter trip to go watch him play. So they put together the idea, Pete and Jerry Pettit, who's the league owner, and is still involved with the league currently. And back in '96, with the launch in '97, with 6 franchises all in Eastern North Carolina, and we've gone from there to 16 across 4 states.
Now, how did you become the commissioner? Were you working as a regular person with one of the teams, or?
Yes, sir. I actually started when I was 20. As an intern with the league office, and then became the media relations director for the league. Did that for about 5 or 6 years, and then was promoted. Had started taking on more operational stuff and was promoted to assistant commissioner. And then 6, 7 years after that, became commissioner around 2013, and then bumped up to COO and commissioner in 2015. So this is, I think, my 6th or 7th year of being in the driver's seat, so to speak. But it's my 18th overall in the league.
Now, I've interviewed commissioners from other leagues, and there's somewhere around 80 of them. But 16 teams is kind of a lot of teams. How did you get so many?
Essentially, the popularity of our league continued to grow. And people wanting to be a part of it as we continued to expand. In my first year, we had 12 teams, mostly through North Carolina. I think 2 of them in Virginia and 2 in South Carolina. And as we've grown our business model, as we've grown our fan base and the development of our players, our umpires, our coaches, the interest is out there, and I think the summer collegiate model is something that has, at least at the very top of the summer leagues, has rivaled professional baseball. And so people are seeing, as far as an interested buyer or an interested market, that you can do what you can do with a professional team at the summer collegiate level. And there's a difference in the sense of what you could do differently with players that are younger and more energetic and open to try and do things and doing a show. Like the entertainment value in our league is second to none. We just got done with our All-Star event in Savannah, and sold out crowds, 4,300 plus a night. And it's a nonstop show, but people have enjoyed that. And so for us, each year, in fact, I was driving back yesterday from Savannah back home and had already 2 emails with interested people that are wanting to put a team in a new market, reaching out to our league. And so we've been able to capitalize on that. We've grown. We took an opportunity in Savannah in 2016 with the Sand Gnats leaving the city to go up to Columbia. And that opened up the gateway to Georgia that later led to Macon. And there's a couple other franchises down there that we're working on right now in developing that I think you'll probably see in the next couple of years. So it's just kind of snowballed, but we focus on quality, not quantity. And so if the right market and the right operator come along and they pass our due diligence and the process that we put them through to vet them out, then we'll move forward with them.
Now, with 16 teams, how is the travel? Is it a bus league? Do you fly all around the country? Well, you probably don't do that, but.
Yeah, we have a charter bus partnership. Black Tie Transportation is our official bus company of the league. And so all the teams travel via charter bus, just like they mostly do in college. The trips are confined. We have 4 divisions: north, south, east, and west. So majority of the teams are playing their games within their divisions. There is some out-of-division play, and there'll be some road trips, in which case they travel by bus and then stay in hotels like they would in minor leagues. But yes, they're all by charter buses. There's no vans, and fortunately, the footprint, while it's big, we haven't gotten to the point where it needs planes just yet.
How is the attendance in your please? And how do you recruit? Since there's so many teams and so many leagues in the country, how do you go about recruiting?
All of our teams handle their rosters themselves. They have to have contracts that are through the league that the players sign. But fortunately, over the years, when I started in the league almost 2 decades ago, we would have to go to the ABCA convention, American Baseball Coaches Association, and try to recruit, meet with coaches, et cetera, et cetera. But now that we're in our 23rd year, we're pretty popular. Our brand is right up there at the top. And depending on the year, I would say we're either first or second or behind the Cape as far as, player talent. So the name is really, the brand has grown. And quite frankly, our players each year become our best source of marketing. So they go back to their individual schools. They talk to their friends that are at other schools, and we get more and more players coming back from the same school, or guys developing those relationships with our college coaches, and, building it from there. So it used to be that majority of our teams weren't full until the spring prior to the summer season. Now our teams will be almost packed 32-man roster filled by October.
Now, as you know, in the major leagues, they have they have 8 relievers and they have 5 starters. How does your league go with the pitching? Is there a certain amount of innings or pitches?
We have a partnership with USA Baseball and Major League Baseball for the Pitch Smart program. So it limits the number of pitches a guy can throw. The max that they can throw per that policy is 120, but nobody ever gets to that high. But based on how much they throw, there's a certain requirement of days off and rest. So our teams, there's no set number of how many starters you may have or how many relievers, but our coaches are mandated that they have to follow that policy. So they have to actually go through training with USA Baseball prior to the season. And then we have an actual person on our staff that goes through each box score every night, keeping track of the numbers of each pitcher and letting those teams know the next morning which guys need how many days of rest and staying on top of that. So it's really turned out to be very pitcher friendly and protective of these guys and any problems with their arms, so that there's hopefully no future problems with them throwing later in their careers.
Now, for the game itself, some leagues now put a man on second base in the 10th inning, extra innings. Do you do anything like that?
Yes, sir. We started the international tiebreaker rule that we had been doing with USA Baseball because of where they're located in Cary, and our league office is located in Holly Springs, North Carolina. They're about 10, 15 minutes from each other. We have a very good relationship with USA Baseball, and Eric Campbell and I have been working together since about 2005, 2006. And so our league plays games with them, but they are the ones that introduced us to the tiebreaker through our exhibition games with the Collegiate national team. And we implemented that last year as part of our pace of play type initiatives. So all regular season games in our league, when we finish tied after 9, go into the 10th inning using the international tiebreaker. So what that is next guy up in the lineup comes to bat. The guy right directly in front of him in the lineup goes to first, and the guy before him goes to second. So there's an actual runner on first and second with no outs, and we go from there. And last year we had, I think, about 45 extra inning games, and almost 90% of them were done in either the 10th or 11th inning. So it really paid off, and nothing went past 14. So it really paid off to do exactly what it's set to do. And it's really fun. I mean, the diehard baseball fans that are not used to it, it takes this little head scratcher at first, but we have our PA announcement that reads how it's supposed to be interpreted to educate the fans in the stands as they're seeing these guys get onto the bases without having to take an at-bat. But now, because, again, baseball is changing and there's so many different rules out there, and these guys are trying these at other levels, and minor league ball included, it's become more and more, old hat, so to speak, and people are used to it. But it is engaging because you put two guys on immediately and one already in scoring position, and it's fun to watch and see. And from a baseball expert type person, it really puts an emphasis on small ball, which is something that's kind of lacking at the professional top ranks now, with everybody trying to swing for the fences more so.
Now, your playoffs are coming up?
Yes, sir.
How many teams are in the playoffs, and how does that work?
8 of our 16 will qualify. Again, we have 4 divisions, so we have a split half scheduled. So first half ended at the end of June. We're in the second half of our season now. Each first half winner in each division automatically gets into the playoffs, and they will host the first round. And then there will be a second half champion from each division as well. If the same team that won the first half wins the second half, then it goes to the next best overall record within that division. So there'll be two teams per division, and we play a 1-1-3 format. So single elimination in the first round, day off in between, single elimination second round, day off in between, and then best 2 out of 3 for the championship, with the top seed getting home field advantage for games 2 and 3 if necessary.
Now, you have a team in Wilson?
Yes, sir.
And it's called the Todds?
Yes, sir.
What is a Tobb?
The Tobb is short for tobacconist. So,
okay.
Being in Eastern North Carolina, a lot of tobacco farming and whatnot, and that's actually a name that came from the old Class D League. Some of our names are historic names to former farm teams and things like that played back in the early 1900s. But yes, it's short for tobacconist, and we just call it the Tobb. So they have an actual tobacco worm as their mascot called Slugger. And,
okay.
It's really fun and engaging. We have some really creative names and mascots, and we preach the fun, family-friendly environment, both on the field for our players and coaches and umpires, but also off the field for the engagement to our fans, and trying to build the enjoyment factor for people to come in and watch a couple hours and take their minds off of reality and just be, sit back and be entertained.
Well, I thank you very much for appearing on the show today, and we wish you well, and we will keep up with you at the end. And we just want to tell you that we were speaking with Justin Sellers of the Coastal Plain League, and thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, Ken. It was really good to meet you, and look forward to talking with you again in the future. All the best.